And on this video, we're going to talk about, oops, I need a redo, needing to amend tax returns. Oh, so fun. So, why might you need to amend a tax return? Well, there's a lot of reasons why you could need to amend a return. Maybe you had errors in reporting your income. So, like, say for example, I forgot I got that one 1099 and I didn't report it. You would want to amend that. Maybe you made a mistake in your deductions or your credits, right? Anything that's going to affect the amount of tax that you have due is a reason to amend your tax return. You could also need to change your filing status, right? Maybe you filed as single, but you forgot you got married. I don't know, crazier things have happened, right? Um, and you can also need to update some personal information about yourself. Now, correcting tax forms, it can be easy or can be complicated. It a little bit depends on what it is that you're fixing. So, for example, if you need to correct something on your personal return, your Form 1040, that's not such a big deal. You go in, you make the change, you have to file the Form 1040X, which will effectively summarize what you originally filed and the changes and the new result. And then at the bottom, it tells you, okay, you owe money, or, oh, look, you're getting a refund. Not such a big deal. If, though, you need to amend something that you did on, say, like an S corporation or a partnership return, where the change is then going to generate different K1s, now anyone who had a K1 has to also amend their 1040. So there's a little bit of a trickle down process where the problem, it starts here and then it comes all the way down to the 1040. So you would actually end up amending multiple returns. That can be kind of a pain in the butt, not gonna lie. Now for business returns, when you're amending, it's usually like a little bit simpler. Some of them even just have a checkbox. It's just like check amended return, check here. Don't forget the states, right? If you're in an income tax state and you filed an income tax return for your state or a business return for your state, if you're amending your federal, you're going to have to amend the state as well. So those are things to look out for. Now, you don't have an unlimited amount of time to fix these things. You have 3 years from the date that you filed originally, or within 2 years from the date you paid the tax, whichever is later. So if you notice an error from a couple of years ago, you're going to have to go start counting. Like, okay, I filed my 2020 taxes in 2021. So 22, 23, 24. Ooh, maybe can still amend that, maybe not, depends on some filing dates, things like that. But yeah, if you're not sure if you can amend, you can always reach out and ask us. We'll help you figure it out. It's not always the hardest process, but it can be complicated, and there are always risks. Every time you file things with the IRS, there's some risks involved. One other thing to mention would be that you are extending your statute of limitations. So if you find an error and you file an amended return a couple of years later, your statute of limitations now has been extended by a couple of years. So do keep that in mind if you are going to go through that process of amending return. Have a return to amend. It's not always so easy to DIY. Taxes aren't easy to DIY on their own. I don't generally recommend people try to then amend their own returns. I've seen people make many a mistake and cause problems. You don't want the IRS looking at you with even more scrutiny than they already do. Why invite them in? So I will say, if you think you might need to amend a return, drop a comment, contact our office. We're here to help. That's what we do. And of course, we'll see you next time.